Mind Gap Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. I'm Doug.
I'm Justin. And Doug, let me ask you a big question today, okay?
Lay it on me, baby.
If you have a bowl of 1,000 grapes, and each grape you eat is worth $100,000, but one of them is poisoned, how many grapes are you eating?
Let's get down to brass tacks, Justin. What's the tax situation here?
What's the tax? Tax-free.
Tax-free.
This is all off the books. Uncle Sam will never come after you. This has been sanctioned by the larger governing bodies of the world, and this is tax-free money coming at you for every grape.
Love it. I absolutely love it. That's because, like, if this is taxed, I'm like, then I'm not eating any of them. Fuck you.
I refuse to play your game.
Like, yeah, nice job. You survived. We're going to take 45% of that. Like, fuck you. You know?
You know what? If I eat the poison grape, you're going to take fucking 45% of that?
Take 45%
You're going to partially
of my
die?
dead body. You can eat
Right?
it out of my dead ass, Uncle Sam. For 100,000, I'd eat 10.
You would.
I'd get $1 million, and I'd call it. I'd call it quits from there, and that ought to pay off all my current, my house, my car, all that sort of stuff, and then plenty left over to be fine. And I'd be like,
I like
I'm
it.
out.
So 10, you like your odds.
the percentage on that is pretty solid. You know,
Sure. Yeah.
1% chance, I'm in. You know,
You're
to
in.
walk away with
Okay.
$1 million, no problem.
Now there was, so this has been making its round on some other podcasts that I've seen pop up. So there have been a lot of debates about how many would you eat? What's the method in which you would eat them? Some people were saying one by one. One guy was like, I would just take 20 grapes, shove them all in my mouth, and that way if I died, I wouldn't know which one, and I couldn't be mad. Which you wouldn't be mad either
I
way.
think I'd probably grab 10. And
You just go, let's
shotgun
rock
it.
and roll. There's no
Like-
need to go one by one if you know you're eating a finite number.
Let me back up. What kind of poison are we talking here?
It's an instant death poison.
Cool.
Like
I
it's
stick
not
with
like
my
a
answer.
you're gonna get sick and you might
It's like,
pull
we'll
through.
pay you, and then when you die, we'll take it back because you'll be in probate and you'll lose it there. So,
Exactly, yeah. Because we don't know how much money to put into your trust, so none of that actually gets in there.
Yeah.
And
So,
yeah,
timing wise, yeah. It's
sorry,
gonna be
you just-
painful diarrhea death is what it's gonna be. So
Yeah, okay. Would that change it then? If we changed the type of death, like you
if
were
it's
still
insta death, that seems like, yeah, whatever, man. I'm gonna shoot for the moon. But if it's like, oh, by the way, you're gonna be dying for 8 months.
well,
after
and that's the
this.
thing. So let's change that then. So you are gonna die. There's no recovering from this, but it will be a slow, painful 6-month death.
I'd still go with 10.
You
It's a
would go with
1%
10.
chance. And even if I were to die, I'd like, guess what, guys? You're covered. We got the house covered. We got the car covered. We're good to go there. Setting aside some money. Natalie can go to college. You know, Natalie, even with the tariffs, you can buy a Switch 2. You'll be okay. You know?
As long as they ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking
I would,
tariffs.
if you look, but maybe this then, right? Like if you know that you've got like a good life insurance policy, and then you've got this on top of it and everything, just go for all 100 grapes.
I'm
all
pretty
1,000
sure
grapes.
my life insurance is not going to cover me eating a potentially poison grape to earn money on top of that. I'm pretty sure that's not in my it's not in my term or permanent life insurance, Justin.
I don't want to get, Doug, I don't want to get too into the weeds on this, but like what second-rate fucking insurance company did you go through that they're not covering that?
Apparently I don't pay the, $1 million a year to get the one that covers you eating poison grapes to earn $1 million.
I wish you'd have told me this before we went into this thought process, because now we can't execute on this. And that
Right.
really bums me out.
Because like, Doug, I got a thing for you. There's 1,000 grapes waiting for you outside your front door.
This
And,
this was one of the things for episode 500 that I
so
was
500.
Yeah.
Shit. We got problems now. So
God damn it, Doug. Damn it, Doug.
how about you? How many did you eat?
Dude, I don't know. Like I was thinking about this, and I'm just such a pussy. I'm like, I don't know if I'd eat one grape.
Yeah.
Just that one, even though you have a 1% chance, I don't know. It's terrifying.
The thing is, like, because it's 100,000, I'm like, of course I'll eat 10. No fucking problem. If you're like $100.
Each grape was $20.
$100 each. I'm like, I don't know. I probably wouldn't eat them. Like, it's not worth it at that point. But I'm like, you're telling me I can eat 10 of these and walk away with $1 million?
Right.
There's a 1% chance I'll have a painful death. I'm like, I'll take it. Kind of sucks here. Justin. So,
That's fair.
Listen, I love my daughter. I love my wife. I love you. I love our tens of listeners. You guys are great. But kind of sucks here. And I'm not saying this isn't a cry for help or anything like that. It's just, you're telling me I get $1 million so I can die. I'm like, I'm in. I'm not playing Squid Game or anything, like.
Would it change anything if you got the poison grape, then you forfeited the money, any money that you had banked thus far?
That would suck. That definitely changes it. That definitely changes it.
Okay.
Because you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I did all this just to die. That sucks.
It also begs the question, how many grapes can a human eat in one sitting? Because
dude,
you got 1,000 grapes. Like if someone's like, I'm gonna eat 999, I'm like, you're probably gonna die then. Like that's just poison grape or not.
Well, here's the thing. Grapes, low calorie density, man. You eat a lot of them, you get full. Not a lot of calories. It's a good way to go,
You're gonna look great.
You're gonna feel great
in your coffin.
You're gonna feel nice and full. Not that many calories.
You'll fit your coffin. That's for sure.
That's right. Goddamn right. Yeah, bro.
I would probably, I don't know. I would say 10 seems like a reasonable number. Some of the guys that I listened to debating this were saying that 100 was their number. And
I don't want to get to 10%. That's still low, but I played enough games that require, Let me tell you a story, Justin.
Tell me, Dougie.
Let me tell you a statistical story that happened on Friday evening.
Please.
In the middle of D&D, Kaya's character lost all their HP, and they were in death saving throws.
Really?
If you're not familiar with the game, listeners, basically, when you lose all your hit points, your character goes down. You go into a state where you have to roll to see if your character lives or dies. You roll a 20-sided die, and if it gets 10 or above, that's considered a success. Anything below a 10 is considered a failure. If you get 3 successes, your character stabilizes, and they're fine. If you get 3 failures, your character is dead. Dead. If you get a natural 20, that's considered a critical success. You get 2 successes. If you get a natural 1, that's considered a critical failure. You get 2 failures. Kaya was sitting at 1 success, 1 failure. She rolled and got a natural 1, and her character died.
Wow.
That's a 5% chance to roll a natural 1 or a natural 20. So, and I've seen that shit happen. And I don't I don't want to roll those dice,
So 2 questions. One, logistical from a D&D side, and the second, checking in on Kaya. Let's go with the second one first. I know how into these games that she gets. Kaya is the surprise D&D player of the century. We all started playing these things. She sat in one game. She loved it, started getting more into it. And I think we're all surprised at how much she has gravitated towards D&D.
Yes.
It's pretty amazing to see it and how emotionally invested she gets. How did she do? She okay?
It was a tough moment because we were all, I'm like, whatever, just roll. It's going to be fine. Whatever. And she rolled it. We all just went dead silent.
Oh, no.
We're all like, I just put my head down. I was like, oh, shit. She goes, I have to step away. And she walked away.
Sorry.
And we just sat there. The rest of us sat there in silence like, that really happened. Yeah. But thankfully in this campaign, you get visited by some entities. And if you make a deal for a small bargain, you can retain your life. So
what did she choose?
Kaya made that bargain. So
oh boy.
Kaya made that bargain. And now it'll be really interesting for her to play with a particular flaw, as well as she has some special abilities, but she also has a flaw. And if she uses those abilities, there's a chance she goes deeper in the hole. So,
oh boy,
fun stuff. But anyway, bring it back to stats. 5% chance. You can critical hit or critical fail. That can happen. So I'm like, keep me at 1%. I'll take a 1%.
That's fair. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I think what it is for me, one of my hesitancies on this is the fact that I just feel like nothing in games of chance like this. I always feel like nothing goes my way. I've been conditioned to feel like nah, you're just going to lose this anyway. So you may as well not even try. Gambling, like I rarely will I go, if I go to the casino, I'll be like, here's $20 that I'm okay to part with. I'll go to the penny slots and I'll have a time. But like I tend to feel very just like naturally ingrained in my bones unlucky when it comes to things of chance. So that's where my hesitancy comes with this.
You're a smart man, Justin. You're a smart man. Be like, I'll take 500.
Right. You know what? Let's go right down the middle. I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm like, that's just greedy, is what that is. Like, that's risky. I'm like, you tell me, because if you're like, it's 100 grades. I'm like,
right.
One.
One.
I'll go back to the 1%. I'll take 100 grand and I'll be fine. That'll be great. 100 grand. I will settle for that.
So the other debate that they were having was again like how they were going to eat it, and I think the only way to go is do a handful, however many you can fit in your mouth. Like if you're going to do 10, you can fit 5 at a time. Boom, boom, 2 big batches, because the psychological effect that would have to eat one and be like, okay, here we go for number 2. Like that just prolongs it. Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So throw a bunch in your mouth.
All right.
I think Justin, that's the only answer to
I've got an adjustment for you. Instead of grapes, it's black licorice. Black licorice jelly beans.
I'm good. I don't need the money that bad.
One of them's poison, Justin. You're like, they're all poison as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. False. They're all poison.
Like, yeah. No, I'm
no,
good.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Doug, how about you? Pearl onions.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, if it's onions, it's like scallions, some shit like that. Like, ugh.
Little pearl
Again,
onions.
I'd tolerate it. I'd be like,
for the money, yeah.
I'd hate it, but I'd be like,
worst way I've ever made $1 million.
Oof. Yeah. Gross. Gross. I don't like it.
Is there anything that you would, any food related item that you would straight up say no to, regardless of the money? Would you be like, you know what? No, I don't want
I'm sure
it.
there is. I don't know if there's anything I'd be like, absolutely not. I'm just like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, eat this bowl of salad. I'd be like, oh man, really? Like,
fine.
I'd try to choke it down, but you know.
Is one leaf poison? No, it's just a regular bowl of salad. You have to eat it.
No.
I
don't wanna.
I
Can
saw.
I put nachos on it?
Can I put
Can I make it a taco
on
salad?
my salad?
Can I make it a taco salad? Can I make it a pulled pork salad?
You know are you familiar with Mr. Beast?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I asked that for any listeners who are like
the way you said his name too. Are you familiar with a Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast. For those who are listening and who may go, what kind of question is that? We're both in our 40s. There's a solid chance we're not familiar with Mr. Beast. Yes. Okay. So Mr.
I haven't
Beast,
watched his stuff, but I know he exists, and I know
yes.
he's a bit of a media guy.
He is a bit of a little new media mogul. But he's got a new game show, reality-based game show, where people do stunts and giant challenges to win money.
Beast Games, I believe it's called.
There you go. That makes a lot of sense. One challenge that he put one of his friends through, it just came up on Instagram for me, was $80,000 if you can lay in a glass box for 10 minutes covered by, I think it was, we'll say 100 spiders. And I watched this happen, and I have not.
I'm surprised you're still with us, Justin.
I've not been that viscerally uncomfortable watching something in a very long time.
What kind of spider are we talking here?
They didn't specify, but they didn't look friendly. They didn't look great. Obviously they weren't poisonous, but just the psychological, I don't think I could have done it for 80 grand. I do not think I could have let 100 spiders crawl over my body. He was just in a bathing suit. He had his nose plugged up with some shit. I couldn't do it.
That one would put me to the test for sure, because like, can you get to that mental space?
Right. Of just like,
you can land there and just
zone
be like,
out.
Like, there's no way. You just tell yourself, there's no way legally they would put me in a situation where I would get hurt.
Or I could die.
That would be a problem. You just lie to yourself. You're like, there's no way these things are poisonous. There's no way I could get hurt for this, right?
And that's the thing. You've got to, the practical side of your brain has to take over. And you've got to be like, look, from a legal standpoint, there would be massive lawsuits, and many people would lose their would go to prison. They would lose all their
and stuff
money.
Like that. They're not typically, they're typically pretty chill creatures for them. I think the worst part would be like, all right, you ready? Here we go. 1, 2.
Yeah, they just dumped.
They're like, we're not starting until we get 3.
I have goosebumps right now. Legitimately.
Yeah, and you're like,
just
please
thinking
start the
about
timer.
that.
Please start the timer. No. We got to get them all covered. 4.
So I do take it back. I just looked it up real quick. It was $800,000, and it was 10 minutes with 1,000 spiders crawling all over you. Yeah,
that is a lot of spiders.
That's a lot of spiders because they brought it in a bucket and just dumped it on them.
See, that's also I feel bad for the spiders. Be like, here you go.
Right? Yeah.
Then are they pissed when they come out? Like
that's good,
that's not good. And also, they can't be that big if there's 1,000 of them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. I don't know. I mean,
which means you got a little. They're crawling up your shorts for sure. Absolutely, unless they're Speedos or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Here, I'm gonna copy link to highlight, and you can, if
Dude,
you want,
they're getting in your ears. You know they're getting in your ears.
Well, that's the thing is that you could see he had something plugging his nose up, right? And I'm assuming he had stuff in his
not on my
ears.
nose. It's like, yeah, you got other holes, buddy.
I would require. I'm like, you're gonna put. This is the only time that I'm gonna have a butt plug in, and I'm gonna need a clothespin or a chip
this guy's
clip.
like, you can't scare me. Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a clothespin or a chip clip blocking the pee hole.
Oh, those are little ones too. Oof.
There's a few big, few little, but they're all
those
just
are like, dude, those are like wolf spiders, man.
Blah. Bro, blah.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah, he did it. Spoiler alert. Fucking gross.
10 minutes. That's a long 10 minutes.
That's
man.
an eternity. Also, like at one point too, you're just like, this tickles. I don't like this.
Again, you have to find that happy place. You got to go there. You got to get there, and you just never leave it.
You got to keep thinking $800,000. $800,000. $800,000.
Even 80,000 is a lot, but 800,000, you're like, oh my God. But that is going to be taxable, so that's unfortunate. So
Right,
it's really $400,000. So that's unfortunate, but still.
Love that. That's where you're.
It is taxed. That will be taxed for sure.
It will be taxed.
Sorry about it.
Congratulations. It's still 800. Or it's still 1,000 spiders.
Yeah.
Those do not get taxed by Uncle Sam. Woo.
Cool.
Yeah,
let us know. Would you eat the grapes?
How many grapes would you eat?
How many grapes would you eat? Check us out, youtube.com/mindgappodcast. Leave a like and a subscribe and leave us a comment. Let us know. Would you eat the grapes and how many? Would you be a greedy grapey? I don't like that.
I don't
Justin,
like greedy grape either. Yeah.
Well, part of the problem is, nowadays when people make social media posts, they have to disguise words.
Yeah.
They have to call it.
Because
unaliving.
Because they'll get the algorithm will.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
You can't say RAPE. You have to call it grape. And I'm like, oh, great. Now that word is tarnished for me. Thank you for that.
Thank you, internet. Yeah.
Would you like a grape? I'm like, excuse me. What'd you say? Call the cops.
Right.
This guy just offered me a grape.
Do you want 1,000 grapes? No.
Yeah.
What?
What? No.
Oh God. Sounds horrible.
Jesus, no.
So many levels.
Justin, you put on here Michigan drivers are the worst. Prove it.
They are a bunch of cunts. So while you're telling us about the grapes, tell us how drivers are in your state. Do you feel like you have the best drivers in the country or the worst drivers? Because I'm going to tell you right now, and come at me, Michigan. Moving from Chicago to Michigan drivers straight up suck. I cannot stand being on the road here in Michigan.
Real quick. I don't think anyone's going to be like, Justin, my state, the best.
You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. Points of pride. I don't think so. Okay.
I don't think anyone's like, don't worry, guys. Massachusetts, we got the best drivers around. Everyone, this is such a topic where people are like, fuck these people. I hate everybody. My state's the worst.
I personally don't mind Illinois drivers. I would say of the places I've been, I would stand up for Illinois drivers.
I just don't like people. People suck.
That's fair too.
And so therefore people are bad drivers a lot of the time. So
people suck,
continue.
But the drivers in Michigan suck even more. And let me tell you
more.
Why. Well, there's two main reasons. Number one, I have never been tailgated more in my fucking life than when I moved here. If you are going, and there's been times where like speed limits posted like 40, 45, I'll be going 50, 55, and there's someone up my fucking ass. And I'm like, do you really need to be going 70 miles an hour down this street here? And it's not even, they won't even pass you. They ride you. They ride you all fucking the whole time until either you or they have to turn off. And they give you the fucking dirtiest looks. And this happens, and this happens side streets. This happens interstates, highways, thoroughfares, you name it. They're constantly getting tailgated around here. So it has become my new absolute favorite pastime to go as slow as humanly possible and just watch them lose their ever-loving minds.
That is, because when you realize in that situation is you have the power. Not them.
100%.
Nope.
Nope.
They don't have the power.
Nope.
You do.
And there's a small part of me that wants to tap the brakes, let them rear end me and say, sorry, there was someone, the car in front of me tapped their brakes, so I had to stop. You shouldn't have been so close. You wouldn't have hit me,
Yeah.
Sorry, not my fault. Also now, my neck. Ooh.
My back hurts. My back hurts.
My back hurts. I'm feeling litigious. My back hurts.
My back hurts.
So that's number one. Number two, I went full Bill Burr the other day trying to find a parking spot near my gym. So how do I even begin? So in Chicago, you've got a street and it says no parking. You can park in between this sign and this sign, and it's usually like a block. No parking on either side of on the other sides of those signs. And you just squeeze in as many cars as you can there. Mm-hmm. Here, because fucking people don't understand how to parallel park outside of a major city, they do this wonderful thing, and it wastes some space, but if it's used right, it's luxurious. They have a signpost that has a sign on this side and a sign on this side, and then about 10 feet behind that, there's another signpost with a sign. So they basically say, like, on the front side of this post and on the back side, here's a spot. And then they have another post on the way. On the front side of this post and the back side of this post, these are two spots. And so it gives you a plenty of room to pull your car in very perfect. I can't tell you, Doug, how many people were parked on the post, and they were half in each spot. And then everyone else just, instead of being like, well, I'm going to pull up and let that half spot sit. No, they try to fucking fill it in. And now we've got after everything's said and done, you've got 2 or 3 full spots that are just unusable. And I'm like, you're all just the fucking worst. The worst. And then don't get me started on them actually parallel parking.
Yeah.
Like, I saw this woman. It was Beth and I love doing this. We'll drive around and we'll sit there, and she had one of those like eco cars, those teeny tiny little cars. And you could have parked a fucking boat in this spot. You could have parked an Escalade in this spot. If I had a boat on a hitch, I could have backed it into this spot along with my car. And she was coming in almost perpendicular to the spot, like where her nose is out in traffic. And I'm like, when are you going to cut back over, honey? Like, what are you doing? It looks like you're doing a U-turn, not trying to park your car. It was the funniest spot. So there's these, Michigan drivers are just fucking straight up the worst. And I needed to speak my truth, Doug. I had to get it off my chest.
I want to say, I think it's beautiful that you and Beth are spending time driving around, watching other people drive and park. I think that's a great time. Great way to spend your time together. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you. We found something that we both enjoy.
Honey, it's Sunday. Let's go out and watch people drive.
Let's go out and make fun of all the people who don't know how to maneuver a vehicle.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough seeing that stuff.
Oh my God.
It's not necessarily car related. It kind of was at first. As I was taking Natalie to see the Minecraft movie, we were leaving my subdivision, and there is a medical facility where women can go and get treated for reproductive stuff. They can have abortions there. And it's constantly, I've talked about this before, a bunch of idiots are always out there protesting or whatever.
Yeah.
And this was Saturday morning, and there was a lot of cars on either side of this road. And this road was a major, off of a main street into our subdivision. People come and go on this road, and they're always crowding it. It's always annoying. But I was like pulling up, and I noticed that there was like this SUV that was just like stopped in the middle of the road. I'm like, fuck, great. What is this asshole doing? Like, I can't get around them. They're not even all the way at the stop sign. So I just have to sit behind them. And I realize like they're talking with the people. And so like I pull up behind them, and I immediately roll down my window. I'm like, it's going down today. Let's go.
This is it. You drew the line.
Yeah. And Natalie told me afterwards, she goes, I got nervous when you rolled down the window.
Good girl.
I rolled down the window and I was just like, here we go. This is the day. And the guy in front of me is laying into these protesters, just laying into them. He's like, you fucking idiots are always parked here. I live here. I got to come out and deal with your bullshit. This is absolute. You all are idiots. Complete idiots. And there's a guy that's funny. He's like, we're recording you. We're going to tell the cops. He goes, tell the cops. I'm 85 years old. I'll kick every one of your asses. I don't give a fuck. Like, he was just,
man. I love him.
Laying into him. And I was just like, that's my dude.
Doug just rolls the window back up. Continue.
I was just like, I kept it down in case they want to say something to me. I'd be like, what he said times 10, you motherfuckers, you fucking idiots.
Right.
You dumb fucks. Just like, I was like so ready. And they, of course, they don't ever have anything good to say. They're like, God bless, sir.
Yeah.
You're obviously very upset and you need help. God bless you, sir. God bless you.
Or you're triggered. Then, sorry. Yeah.
And then we got going, and Natalie goes, I got kind of nervous when you rolled down your window. I go, hey, I was just, gonna have to say some words if I needed to.
I was just gonna engage in civil discourse, Natalie. That's all.
I was like, I don't like those people. I don't like them. And then I got to explain to Natalie what an abortion was.
Nice.
It finally happened because I was like, I have to explain to you why those people are out there and why I don't like them.
Right. What up to this point? How had you? Because I mean, it's obvious. Like they're out there in droves with their signs and their chanting and their whatever's. Yeah. Like what was the conversation prior to that?
We said those people believe in something. We don't. I think they're idiots. I think they're rude. I think they're inconsiderate and whatever. And I told Natalie, I go, listen, I'm with that guy. I go, but that doesn't change who these people's behavior at all. Right. It just emboldens them.
Right.
It makes them stronger when you yell at them.
Yeah.
I go, the best thing you can do is ignore them. And it sucks because I don't want to ignore them.
Yeah.
I can't stand them. I think they're just a bunch of fucking idiots and fucking assholes. But I'm like, yeah, I just have to drive by them all the time and just ignore them because that's the best thing to do is to pretend they don't exist.
There's one guy who sits out. There's one not too far from our place here. And there's one lone dude who just sits out there in a chair. And he puts 20 signs around him and he holds
They always have the signs. So
and I'm like, signs. Oh my God, dude, every time I drive by. And I think I've made a decision that this summer, when I've got some time, either on the weekend or if there's a day I'm off, I am going to go get some poster board and I'm just going to, nothing on it, but I'm going to put them on little stakes and I'm just going to stake signs in front of all of his signs, blank. Mm-hmm. And then because it's public property, he can't touch, I'm not touching his signs, he can't touch mine. And I just kind of want to see what happens.
Or you could do what I suggested when Seth was on here a while ago. Get a bullhorn, a really big one, right? Really powerful one.
Yeah.
Connect it to your phone. Fart sounds whenever you go by. Just light them up. So whenever you go by, this was going to be my therapy for this. Yep. Was just set up my Bluetooth just with a bullhorn or whatever, and every time I go by, just good morning, Just every time, they're like, that's funny. But like over time, psychological warfare.
Yeah.
It gets old. Every day, this guy just going by, just letting them loose, just every day. Every time I see him, every time they're out there, just crank it, blast it, and then just drive by every day.
What would be fun is to, if you wanted to set up a speaker right next to him. And just keep it playing. Because again, if they're going to set up publicly, I'm going to set up publicly. And just like, how long can you sit there with 16 hours of fart noises programmed?
Yeah.
Your move, sir. Your move.
Or you get a big old banner like sign and you get a bunch of them and they all just say really outrageous things. Like, check us out at Mind Gap Podcast. mindgap.com. Just I love Mind Gap. Maybe that's not the right one we want to put.
No, we probably don't want to go that way. Yeah.
But it's just something like, I think chocolate cake is stupid or something, just really dumb things, like dogs aren't cool or whatever,
right. This guy also molests collies.
Yeah, that too, right?
Yeah.
Or it's just like, I think Gandalf was a liar, just
just real nerdy hot takes.
Yeah, just real specific things,
That would be amazing. I genuinely, we might have to workshop some of these. And this summer, I think I'm going to go take this guy on sign for sign.
Yeah, just whatever. Just put a
I'm into
big
it.
one out there that just
Yeah.
all the time. It's just something absurd and weird.
Yep.
He's like got all of his things, and there's this one random big one.
What would be great is, so there's this driveway that takes you into the parking lot of that building, and it's not a super busy street, but he sets up on one side of the driveway. I would love to make a giant banner that goes over the driveway that you have to drive under, that you drive through, and set it up and just says, "Ignore this guy, welcome."
Exactly.
And
right?
just, again, it's very passive, but it's just enough. Those type of people will get so fucking triggered by that.
Absolutely. They get
Because
really,
you're
really
not
mad.
engaging with them, but
Mhm.
you're also not engaging with them. It's that weird
I've seen
middle ground
videos
that
of
they
people at
can't-
those clinics who will like, they have bullhorns, or like, because what they do is they come up to you right away and they pretend to be something they're not, and they go,
Mhm.
ignore him. That guy doesn't work with the facility. Keep coming this way. Keep coming this way.
Yep.
Cool. Good job. Like, because they'll be like, yeah, I'm part of it. It's like, no, you're a
No,
liar.
you're not.
Don't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But I think passive aggressive signs is the best way.
I love
especially if they
passive-aggressive,
don't
yeah.
understand what it means.
Yep.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of just something really dumb off the top of my head. It was just like, I think Snow White, should have had bigger tits or something. Like, I don't know. You put that in front of him.
I like when Laura Croft was boxier.
Right. Rapunzel's my favorite Disney princess, or some
Right.
random shit like that. Anyway,
Mario.
fuck Michigan
what is it?
drivers.
Super Mario. Was it SNES Mario Kart was better than N64 Mario Kart. Changed my mind.
That's,
And
yeah,
then
there
just
you go.
have
You
people
turn it into
come
like
up-
a
yeah.
debate. Yeah, it
Yeah.
turns into like some stupid Steven
But then
Crowder
put it
debate.
there and then walk away, so he has to answer to that, and he has no
Like,
idea.
what are you
they're
talking about?
What?
Blue shells are dumb.
Right.
Rubber banding in video games is dumb.
Yeah, you could
Unbelievable.
also put some crazy fan theories on signs, Doug.
Goddamn right.
You know?
Nice go. Nice go, Justin. Nice
Hi,
go.
thank you, bruv.
Oh, nice go, bruv. After our little discussion about some fan theories last week, it got me looking up some stuff. And Justin had put this one on here last week, but we ran out of time, and I'd really love to hear it. Your movie fan theory you wrote down is Cap died in Wakanda at the end of Infinity War. Tell me more about this.
So I saw, again, this is a reel that came across when last week we were talking about fan theories, and in the research, this one came up, and I was like, that's interesting. I never had this thought before, but he posed an interesting. So when Thanos is just, running the gamut on everyone, he's walking through the woods towards Vision, and everyone's trying to stop him, right? Cap goes toe to toe with him.
Mhm.
He's got the gauntlet coming down, and Cap's actually, and that look of on Thanos' face, real briefly, of like, oh shit, like he's starting to like match me power for power. And then he just fucking cold cocks Cap, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the next film, when he's fighting the Hulk, he full on, oh no, sorry, it's the beginning of that film, isn't it? Yeah, it's the beginning of that film when he's fighting the Hulk in space.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
fighting the Hulk in space.
Hulk in space on the Asgard ship, right?
There you go. Yes,
that was the beginning of that one, right?
Yeah, of Infinity War, correct.
Of Infinity War, right? So he beats his ass wholesale, right? And he
Mhm.
he trounces Hulk. There's no way that if Hulk is getting pummeled by Thanos, there's no way Cap is going to take an equal beating. So when Thanos cold cocks him like in the back of the head, Cap drops like a sack of potatoes. The idea is that ended him. He dropped and he died. He doesn't move. Then he goes
Is this
over.
a Jacob's Ladder scenario?
Yep. No.
Ugh.
You know it.
God.
Then he goes over and Wanda blows Vision up, but he's got the time stone. So he reverses time, but it reverses it for that whole area. Because if you zoom out, there's one section where you zoom out and you see the reverse explosion of Vision. You see the giant yellow explosion. It reverses back. So there's a radius that time gets reversed. When Cap wakes up,
I'm gonna have a point. I'm gonna have
ahead.
a contention with that, but
Go ahead.
continue.
When we next see Cap, he wakes up and he's got a completely like stunned look on his face, as if he just got like he was dead, crossed over, got brought back to life. The other supporting facts in this is Hulk was the Hulkbuster armor was lodged in a rock, was it? And so he's walking around free.
So the Banner die too?
No, he was encased in rock. He had not died yet. War Machine, his armor got crumpled, and he's
So he died
when he's
too?
walking around. No, his armor just got crumpled. And he's walking around. His armor's fine. He's not compacted. So there's other things that allude to the fact that things had been reversed time-wise in that little proximity. And then Thanos snaps, poofs back into the little portal, and is gone. So that's the theory.
It's okay. Doesn't make my dick move though.
Okay.
The whole
moving on.
It's not moving. We got to move on. I think the most
Natasha was no
compelling
longer trapped under pillars of stone. Bruce was no longer fused to rock. Cap showed no signs of injury from a blow that should have easily killed him.
All I gotta say is like, okay, let's look at all the movies and compare about these things that should have killed them. You know,
well,
like
I mean,
in these
that's
situations.
fair too.
I mean, Cap jumping out of the fucking window of I don't know.
And just landing on a shield.
Landing on his shield as he just busts out of a fucking elevator, right? Or when Cap gets, I don't know, like blasted with a fucking artillery gun in Civil War, and he blocks it and then falls out of a window onto his back on the ground. And he just gets up and goes, ugh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
falling off the skyway when he was fighting himself in the next film.
Yeah. Like just, I mean,
look, I get it. I'm just saying.
Those are weak sauce facts, but I say the most compelling one is that, like, you know, can Cap take a punch from Hulk? Probably not, right? Thanos took several punches from the Hulk, and then he punched the Hulk back and beat the Hulk into submission. Can Cap beat the Hulk into submission? No. All that to say that, like, yeah, a straight punch from Thanos with a gauntlet, not even using the rings, you know, or the stones. Yeah, I'd probably fucking pack a wallop. I think that's a solid. That's a solid argument.
Some people say, well, he knew he didn't need to, so he pulled the punch.
Of course.
And I'm like,
which is why he was surprised when he was pushing down. He's like, okay, I didn't expect that from you.
Cap.
Which is why that's such a cool scene. But
what's your issue
of like, you know, the proximity thing is like all we see, because before that we watch the stone explode, right?
Mm-hmm.
As Wanda does, it explodes. It's just like it's gone. Ta-da. To imply that by him bringing it back, that somehow reverses time in that particular area. I just think that's all we're seeing is just the stone come back together. So like,
you're seeing there was a giant yellow, like an explosion of power, like the energy from the stone got released.
Exactly.
And they do a wide shot over the canopy of the trees, and you see a reverse explosion.
Right.
Like
he brings the stone back.
Yeah. And so like that's in a proximity. Like you can see it above the treetop.
What are we talking here, Justin? 20-foot radius, 30-foot cone?
20, 30. Yeah.
30-foot cylinder, 40-foot cylinder.
Well, I mean, depending on where the Hulk was in that rock. You know,
right. You know, where's the point? Is it a point that he can see, or is it just anywhere? You know, D&D rules here we're working with, Justin. You know, what are we talking here? Look, cast the spell.
He critted. You know, that's all.
He critted.
Yeah.
He critted. And then he won. And then he lost. I don't know. It's okay.
It's not one that got me, like, again, the same as you. I didn't get super, but I was like, it's the first time I'd heard that the theory of that.
But then it leads into Jacob's Ladder situation, which I'm so tired of those. It's like, maybe he was dead the whole time. Hey,
you know, he imagined the whole thing.
I know. Yeah, it's like, okay, all right, fine, whatever.
All right, so we'll kick us out with that shitty fan theory.
It's okay. It's okay. I've heard worse. It's okay. I went digging for some. I found one that I thought was interesting. Not in the slightest accurate, but it was just interesting to me.
Yeah.
And that in The Dark Knight, the high-pitched note for Joker's appearances is tinnitus.
That's such a nerdy shitty.
Because
it's the Joker's tinnitus. Are we POV on the Joker?
It's supposed to be the Joker's tinnitus.
All right, I'm here for it. Let's hear it.
There's a theory that the Joker was actually formerly a soldier, which is why he knows so much about weapons, which is why he knows like how to handle all that stuff. And also he makes a reference to, at some point, he's like, if I tell you a truckload of soldiers gets blown up, no one bats an eye, right? He makes
so maybe he's carrying some harboring some bad feelings.
So they say like, well, from all his time using weapons and things like that, he's developed tinnitus, and tinnitus can drive people a little mad because of the constant ringing. So their thought is that what we're hearing is that creepy noise is actually tinnitus. And one of the best comments was like, "There's no proof this is diegetic whatsoever. That anyone except us. There's no one going, Jesus, do you hear that? Like,
you never see Joker come in and go,
you know." And it's so like, there's a lot of people who are like, this is bullshit, but I thought it was really funny. Like, and I was like, actually, that's very creative.
Yeah.
That's very creative. It's like, that's Joker. You're hearing his tinnitus right now. That's why he's crazy.
Somehow we're POV on the Joker. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that theory because it look, in some ways it makes a lot of sense with, maybe he was a soldier, maybe whatever, but it's such a benign, such a boring, banal, like he has hearing issues.
Yes.
Like what a reason for someone
brought
to
on
go
by
that,
previous, explosions. And
what a reason though. Like he's got tinnitus and that's what drove him to the point where he's trying to take down an entire city.
That's right. That's right.
I thoroughly enjoy that one.
Here's another one I thought was interesting. And also the comment to this also made me laugh really hard. But it's like, this is in reference to Harry Potter. Religious figures like Jesus were witches and wizards who revealed themselves to muggles to try and control them and rebel against the rest of the wizarding world.
That's it? Sorry, say it again. I was waiting for more.
You're like, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I have tinnitus. I'm going crazy. Religious figures like Jesus were witches and wizards who revealed themselves to muggles to try and control them and rebel against the rest of the wizarding world. There's a whole diatribe that goes on after that, but that's kind of like the headline.
Oh, okay. It sounded like you had more. It was just an odd place to I got you. Okay, gotcha. So they're saying that Jesus existed in the Harry Potter world.
Yes, but he was a wizard.
He was a wizard, yeah.
He was a wizard who was able to turn water into wine and do all this sorts of stuff because he had magical powers. So all of those sort of like religious figures were wizards who were like, you know what? I want to be a big deal to these muggles. I'm going to go out there and try to pretend that I'm just a regular guy who can do things,
Look at me, son of God over here.
They're like, going back all the way to ancient Greece, ancient Egyptian, like all that sort of stuff. It was just people going, check it out. Lightning. I'm Zeus.
Patrono, expecto patrona.
Yeah,
lightning.
Right?
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. So this guy goes on several paragraphs describing like different things. He was like, it was this.
Supporting his argument.
Right. And then, then there's one comment that goes, do you have a single source in universe? Basically, this guy's just like, it could be this. It could have been that. And this person's like, name a source in the books. Can you name a source in the universe that even remotely says this is true? It's like,
is she saying, wait, I'm sorry, is she saying the Harry Potter books or like the book?
Like,
does the Bible reference Dumbledore?
Yeah, is there any universe? Not that one.
Okay.
Not does the Bible reference Dumbledore.
Well, which universe are we talking about? The Christian universe or the Harry Potter universe?
It's like name something, whether it's like Fantastic Beasts or something like where name one time where someone's like, hey, you remember that guy, Dingledorf? Remember when he went off and said he was some guy named Jesus? Like. They're like, oh yeah, that guy. He was a real asshole. Confused a lot of people.
Confused a ton of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a big following though.
Yeah. I thought that one was interesting. That's a fun one, right? Where it's like,
that is a fun one.
We have all these people from mythology. What if they were just people not playing the game like they were supposed to?
Right. If they were trying to it was basically they were like Voldemort's, but they were just playing it their own way. Yeah.
Exactly.
They wanted to control everyone, but they were gonna do it with miracles.
They're like, you know what? This Wizarding World sucks. I'm kind of mid over here. I'm gonna go be a big deal with all these people who don't understand this shit.
Yeah. I'm okay over here, but man, I could run this.
I could
run
real
this
big
side
deal
of the
over
game.
there.
Yeah.
Imagine all the poon I could get over here, man. Right?
And as we know, Jesus was all about the punani.
That's right. I've got one more like quote unquote legit one, and then I got a bunch of shitty ones.
Let's hear. Okay,
I'll run through this. The last one here is Pennywise is a monster from Monsters Inc.
You got my attention on this one. Let me hear this.
So the thought being that Pennywise was trained in the world of Monsters Inc. to go out and scare to earn that sort of stuff. However, over time, he got loose in the human world and decided that essentially he was going to use his scare tactics to eventually consume the children instead of just scare them for power to generate stuff. He then scares them and he eats them. So using his same tactics that he's learned, he's become the clown Pennywise, which I find very interesting, very fun.
That I like a lot.
Yeah.
I like a lot. Because then, like, that's a movie that I would love to see is Mike and Sully having to go track down Pennywise and stop him.
That is the gritty live action I want to see. That's the gritty
Yeah.
Disney live action I want to see, where it's just like you hear thunder and it's like Sully and Mike are standing, like they're looking at a door and the door's got blood on the outside and they just look at each other. Mike Wazowski's like, we got to go get him, Sully. Sully just like stares at it. You just hear like a clock ticking as he just stares at it. And there's just like memories of him, you know, partnering with him as they're training together. He's like, we got to get him, Sully. And he's like, son of a bitch.
They open the door and it's raining on the other side.
Yeah.
It open. Yeah. And then it opens right to a gutter where it goes right down to a, yep.
Yeah. And he's just staring at it and he's just like, it's like, what are you afraid of? Monsters Inc. Finding Pennywise or whatever.
Oh my God. I'm so into this.
We have AI. This. We can make this trailer, right?
Yes, dude. Okay. If someone out there is getting real good at making AI trailers, please make that.
Right.
Please make that. What studio released it?
That's Sony.
Was it it was Sony?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they just won't do business with Disney.
They do with Spider-Man.
Well, unless it's with Tom Holland. That's the only time that they'll do business with them.
Because they own. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. All right.
Man, I would love. Man, now you got me excited. I want to start painting that world.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
that's a fun way to take that stuff more interesting. All right, here's some shitty ones that are intentionally shitty. These are not meant to be good, but they're very funny, and I enjoyed them very much. So here's your first one. Tony Montana in Scarface is a Cuban immigrant. He looks confused when his friend Manny speaks to him in Spanish. This is because Tony Montana is actually Donald Trump.
I have no idea how we can make that one work, but I'm into it.
And they have like a screenshot of him sitting in the big old tub, and he's like looking at Manny, all confused. Yeah. He's looking at him. He's just like, the fuck?
All right. What else you got?
All right, here's the next one. Thor would have opened a can of whoop ass on Thanos in Infinity War if they played Immigrant Song again.
That's Led Zeppelin Thor didn't have his pump up mix. That was the problem. Mix. He just didn't have his pump up mix.
Yeah. Someone goes, hey, I thought this was the shit post thread. Like, this is obviously true.
That's obviously that's canon.
Yeah. All right, here's the next one. Just why exactly didn't Sauron make a cock ring? Thoughts?
A whole different movie right there.
Right? Someone legitimately tried to argue why he didn't. I was like, nobody cares.
Nope, we're not doing this. Yeah.
All right, this one's really good.
One ring to fuck them all.
Yeah. The hobbits aren't that small. Gandalf is just really big.
So Gandalf is like 6'6", pushing 8 foot.
He's like 8 feet tall.
Or 7'6", pushing 8 foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played college hoops. But, you know, he injured his knee, so he couldn't go pro. So he decided to become a wizard instead.
Yep. So,
and then hung around a bunch of regular-sized people.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. Makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Second to last one. Hermione always reads for Harry in the movies because Harry was a prisoner in his home and never went to school and thus can't read.
I buy that fully. Fully, I buy that. Yes.
I know that's not true because in the books he does go to school and whatever it's referenced, but I do like that because Hermione's always reading. He's like, I can't read.
Right. He was, all the letters that he received were just pictures.
Yeah, because someone goes, obviously, tell me you haven't read the books without telling me you haven't read the books. How do you read the letter to Hogwarts? You know? Like, all right, fuck off. Way to not have fun. All right, last one here. Xenomorphs from the Alien franchise are a little bit related to citrus fruits. Xenomorph blood has really strong citric acid in it, so if you accidentally get the acid blood in your mouth, not only will it hurt like hell, but also will be a little tangy.
Again, prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong,
To
bitch.
to prove that wrong, you'd have to try xenomorph blood. Good luck.
Yeah. You know what? It is a little tangy.
You know what? It's like when you eat too much pineapple and your tongue gets burny.
Yeah. I'm feeling that. Feeling a little bit of that.
Feel a little burny.
It feels a little barny. Anyway, those are the fun ones.
Those are
that I
fucking
found.
amazing. I love those. Those are absolutely
Very
amazing.
fun. I love an intentionally shitty fan movie theory. They're great.
Yes. Please let us know what ones you guys have. What's the favorite one you heard? Do you have one yourself that you've come up with? Please let us know because and we'll talk about it. Discord, you can get us on there, any social media, YouTube, leave a comment. And we'll be happy to review your fan theory. If you give us a good enough one, we might actually bring you on and have you talk about it.
Yes.
We'll dedicate part of an episode to just really breaking it down if you got a good one. So let us know about fan theories. Doug, you ready to play a game?
It's my turn, and I'm ready. I came to play.
It's on. We're playing the movie clip guessing game. So usually Doug is the one that throws these at me. Today, Doug's in the hot seat, and I've got 3 clips I'm going to be playing for Doug. And he's going to try to guess what movies these are from. Now, these are all dialogue based. Putting it out there.
Have I seen these movies?
I'm pretty sure you have.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like it. I like the confidence. I will take that confidence on top of myself.
We're in the zone now where I'm just like, there's a better than not chance that you have.
Probably.
But I don't know.
We'll see.
But we'll see. Yeah. So
you've gotten plenty that you haven't seen before. So, you know.
That's true. Yes. And you have I've said this, you have a gift that we cannot figure out how to monetize. Okay?
It's a useless gift. So
it is.
Thank you.
And what part of my goal for 2025 is to figure out how we can make us both very rich off of this useless gift of yours. So
yeah, make sure you put that in your Q1 self-eval. Let them know how you're doing on that.
Believe me, that's going to go in there. And they're going to go,
believe me,
what?
brother.
And then I'm going to go, I quit.
They'll be like, we don't read these anyway. Good job.
Oh, I would love to sneak. You know what? That's how I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to sneak something in there that should make them say, can you explain this more? And if they don't, then I'll be like, cool, never given this
None of this matters.
Another mind. All right. Here we go, Doug. I think, again, these are big enough. In my world, these are big enough where they should be obvious, but we've seen how that plays out in the past.
Yeah, same for me. So,
yeah.
Okay. Lay it on me.
So, number 1.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
It's such a great line.
It's
just
good.
so you can just be like, that's not correct. It's like, that was horrifically stupid.
Right. And I fear for us now.
Yeah. And everyone in this room is dumber having heard you talk. I wish we could say that because there's a lot of times where I'm like, can we play that clip?
Yes.
That is from Billy Madison.
That is 100% from Billy Madison. Didn't know where that was. Yeah, that one, anytime I hear this clip runs through my head. I should memorize it, but it runs through my head rent free every time I'm at work and someone speaks up in a meeting and doesn't. It's one of those people, they don't have anything to say, but they're saying a lot, and I'm like, oh.
That's one of those movies that like I genuinely don't like.
Billy Madison.
Never enjoyed it, even when I saw it when I was a kid. I went to the theater by myself to see it, and I was like, this is not for me.
This is not my humor. I get, if you like it, good for you, but not,
like,
not
for me. This is an insane film, and it's not for me.
Oh, it's absolutely bonkers. Yeah. But that line, I do feel like delivered by the great Jim Downey, by the way. He's an SNL god. That line, I think about that line so often when dealing with dumb people. All right. Good job, Doug. Ready for number 2?
Let's do it.
Okay. It's a short one.
Phil, if you're gonna spew, spew into this.
Nice. That would be. I'm blanking on the name. Wayne's World.
You got it.
I was like, Thomas Wayne. That's not it.
You looked off to the side, and I was like, is he looking it up? No.
No. That's Thomas. I was like, that's not what it is.
That is Wayne's World. Yes. in college, there was a lot of, again, that line when we would go out drinking and one of our friends would imbibe too much. We would always look at him and go, if you're going to spew into this.
Yeah, I remember going to see that movie with my buddy Colby, and I'd never seen the SNL sketch. So, like,
oh, really? So you you know this is
it.
brand new. This wasn't IP. This was a brand new idea.
I was just like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Like, this is a movie. And everyone's like, ah! I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's all right. Like,
yeah, it's cool. Whatever.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Wayne's World 2 at the time. I was like, yeah, because I saw the first one. I get this one, like, I had no idea it was based on SNL. So
how long after until you realized it was an existing sketch?
Oh, I don't know. Probably a while, but
Yeah.
like, it's the same thing. Like, I went and saw, David Spade came by the Division II college in my town to do a comedy thing. And I remember I went and saw him. And my brother like didn't get to go. And he was so mad. Cause I was my same friend, his parents got tickets and they let me go. My brother was like, you don't even know him. And I didn't know who David Spade was.
Oh, you had no idea who it was. Interesting.
At the time I was just like, who is this guy? They're like, oh my God, you haven't seen the SNL. She's like, this is bullshit. You don't even deserve to go. And I was like, whatever, I'm going. I'm like, it was funny. I was like, he's just a comedian, but I didn't know anything about him.
You hadn't seen like Tommy Boy or anything either?
At the time, I don't think Tommy Boy was out. So
this was in college?
No, I was young.
He came by.
He did a college tour.
I got you. Okay.
He came by and I was like, I was young. I was
gotcha.
just like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, that's cool.
He flipped off the school camera guy who was taking a picture for the paper. He flipped him off. That's funny. I didn't know anything about him.
I love it. All right, Doug. 2 for 2. Let's see if you can make it a hat trick here. Ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Marvin, what do you make of all this?
Man, I don't even have an opinion.
Well, you gotta have an opinion. I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped?
Oh, what the fuck's happening now?
Oh,
yes.
man.
Yes.
Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Why the fuck you do that?
I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident.
That ending.
Great moment.
Oh,
Great
shit.
moment.
I shot Marvin in the face.
I love that. I remember watching that movie for the first time. That movie, that made me laugh. It was such a comedic.
So funny. It's
because so
funny.
much of that movie doesn't have like a ton of comedy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That whole sequence, that like whole story is so funny, like in so many ways. And that in particular, like, what the fuck? That's from Pulp Fiction.
That is 100% from Pulp Fiction. Well done.
Yes. And I was like, okay, that's John Travolta. I'm like, okay, what is this? I can't quite picture it. And then the shot went off. I'm like, I know what this one is. I know what this is.
And it's so unexpected because he turns around and he's got the gun pointed at him.
Yeah.
Marvin's in the backseat. Travolta turns around and he's like, what do you mean? You think God actually came down from heaven and mid-sentence they hit a bump and the gun goes off? All you see is just a shower of red inside the car.
Yeah.
Cut back to the front seat. Travolta and Sam Jackson are just covered in brains and blood and everything. He's like, oh, shit, I shot Marvin in the face.
Honestly, that sounds like you and me if we were in that role, because they have like tons of arguments and just discussions about stuff all the time. You turn to the guy like, hey, I know we just kidnapped you. Your thoughts, time travel. Do you think Marty died or what? What's going on, Do you think Cap's dead or is another dumbass Jacob's Ladder scenario? Like, it's just us doing a podcast.
That is 100%. We are Jules and Vincent. Yes.
100%.
Yep.
I would probably be
Doug.
Vincent because he's constipated. That's not really me, but
I get it though. Yeah. And
I
also
just can't say I'm cool like Samuel L. Jackson. There's no way.
And also
cool
you could have that luxurious locks of hair that he has. And you have a
right.
heroin problem like he did. So it all checks out.
Real big on the Royale with cheese,
Bingo bongo. As they say.
Bingo bongo.
Well done, Doug. Well,
thank you very much.
Done, my friend. You got.
Thank
3
you
of
for
3.
supplying the audio.
Oh,
Always a pleasure, my friend.
So it's fun to go through and try to figure out like what what do you think about all the time? Because you think about the clips, but then you don't really clock that you're thinking about them sometimes, and they just go away, and you're like, yeah, that was fun.
I said one popped in my head the other day. I'm like, gonna write that one down, pull that one out of the ether.
Nice. I told
it's
Doug,
coming, Justin.
I told Doug earlier today that I just watched because I realized I was gonna watch Gladiator 2. I had never seen Gladiator 1 from start to finish. I've seen most of it just picking it up when it's been on like HBO or on a TV or whatever. So I'd seen most of the film, but never like hit play and watched to the credits. So I finally did that before I jumped into Gladiator 2. And when I was done, because Doug has such a love for that movie, my first thought was I should do all Gladiator clips and really make him like question what game are we playing today?
I would love it if you would have done that. Also, Justin's thoughts on Gladiator, pretty good flick. You know, that's what he told me. Pretty good movie. I'm like,
That's a pretty good flick.
Won an Oscar. Pretty good movie. You know, pretty good movie.
Pretty good movie.
Justin, what do you have to recommend this week?
So in honor of it returning this week, it comes out on the 10th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Season 4 of Hacks comes out on HBO or on Max. I don't know. Fucking one of the, I don't know which one it's branded under. But it's the breakout show. They have cleaned up in the Emmys the last couple years. Season 4 is premiering, I believe this week, but it follows it's Gene Smart, Paul W. Downs, who you would know from Broad City and a few other things. He and a few other people created it. He also stars in it as well. It's just a funny Hannah Einbinder. I don't know. She's really funny too. Caitlin Olsen's in it, and it's a great cast. It's a situation that you wouldn't immediately think would necessarily work, but my God, do they strike a tone that is just fucking perfect. So Gene Smart plays this comedian from, the 60s who was huge and, toured around. She was an actress, a comedian, and now she's gotten into QVC stuff, and she's got a residency in Vegas, and she's kind of like been coasting the last like decade and a half or so. But she earned all her money. She's super rich. Kind of one of the, like a Carol Burnett style, who's just a legendary comedian from her time. She is looking to kind of make some moves. And so a young up and coming comedian who was blacklisted for a joke that she made, this is the only writing job she can get, is to write for this hack, this old person who hasn't done a new set in probably 30 years. And so it's the two of them trying to Gene Smart is just so old school, and this new person is so liberal and progressive, and just watching the two of them play off each other. It's got a shocking amount of heart. And there are some lines in there that are genuinely laugh out loud funny, where I was like, this is really fucking sharp writing. So I would say catch up on 1, 2, and 3, and then jump into season 4 when it comes out. I slept in the show because I'm like, it's probably fine. And then I jumped in. I was like, I'm really upset that it took me this long to get into the show. Very, very, very much a fan of it. So that's what I recommend. Doug, what do you got?
How fun. I recommend signing up for Dropout, getting a subscription,
and do it quick because the price is going up.
Price is going up. I got a year for $47.
There you go.
That is a fucking steal. And I watched the shit out of Game Changer. And that is such a great game. It's basically just, I'm sure you all have seen clips on it on your social medias and things like that. But essentially, the host, Sam Reich, and his cast, they create a game every week, every show. And every show, the game is different. Sometimes he has some repeat stuff, but it's like the players come on and they just have to figure out what the game is and how to win. And most of the time, Sam finds a way to torture the people. And it is so fucking funny. And so I felt so inspired just watching the show to be like, God damn, like we could make shit like this. Like this is so much fun to come up with, like just fun ways. And the people that are on it, the contestants are so talented, such great improvisers. And
that's really what, that's the magic sauce there. Like if they weren't that good at improvising, it would still be a fun show, but they take it over the edge because they can yes and the hell out of it.
Well, not only that, like they know each other well enough how to fuck with each other. Yeah. Like Brendan Lee Mulligan, Sam Reich has Brendan's number. He knows exactly how to drive him up the wall.
Right.
And they did an escape room episode that was just so goddamn amazing, so impressive, so much fun. And they've done Survivor, their own version of Survivor. They've done their own version of The Bachelor. They did their thing called Ratfish, where they all had to make a character and then pretend to be that character online. And they had to figure out who was playing and who was what character. And one of the characters was someone who wasn't even on the cast. And it was so much fun to watch them try to figure this shit out and just play as these characters. Brendan was a bug with a big ass was his character. Just like someone was like a side table, walnut. Just random shit. Amazing. It was just so much fun. So highly recommend just Dropout in general, but Game Changer in particular. Very fun show. Worth the cost of admission. So funny, so good. They also brought in improvised Shakespeare for an episode.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure I've seen all these guys perform live.
That's really cool.
And that episode, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's just like seeing their show when they had it. It was so fucking good. So impressive.
Fucking love that, man. I it's one that I'm heavily considering jumping into.
Yes.
Like that subscription.
Absolutely should.
Yeah.
It's worth the price, and oh my God, it is so much fun.
Yeah.
So much so that Natalie loves it. So
That's awesome.
Which I was also like, you can't watch this channel without me.
Right.
Because there's some stuff in here. Like they have one like Sex with Me is like, that's like the whole episode.
Yep.
It's like all sorts of stuff like that. I'm like, you can't watch that one.
Yeah.
Can't watch that one.
Do you
She
remember
loved the Survivor one until like one of the last episodes. The challenge was they brought on fuck. What's their name? A drag queen. And they had to do erotic pottery. I'm like, cool. Well, we're just not going to finish the rest of this one.
And paused.
Because they had to try and do like really sexy stuff with pottery. I'm like, nope, we're not watching this. Sorry, kiddo. You're not going to know who wins. Sorry about it.
I'll tell you. I'll watch it and I'll say Brendan won. I'll tell you who won.
Yeah. I was like, tell you what, I'll tell you who won.
Yep.
It's this person. But yeah, it's really, really good stuff. So check that out. But gang, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We always appreciate you being here. Please, if you're listening to us, thank you. Rate and review. If you're watching to us, or if you want to watch us, check us out at youtube.com/mindgappodcast. Hit the like and subscribe button. It's a free way of supporting us. Leave a comment about anything we've said on the show. Check the link in the description for links to our Discord, links to our Patreon, links to our merch. And share us around. Be cool. Engage with us. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to check out Justin online as well.
On Instagram at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. While you're in the online realm, anywhere where you can find audio podcasts, guess what? There we are. So go ahead and subscribe, download, rate, review, do all the things that you can do for us there. Big one, like Doug said, is sharing. Let someone know we exist. It goes a long way. And then twoeast8th.com, twoeast8th on all social media, loveandimprovfilm.com, and loveandimprovfilm on Instagram.
Booyah. With that, I'll say, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Listeners, viewers, thank you. And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.